Let's learn hot work safety. Hot work means any activity in which flame, heat, or spark is generated. It may act as a source of ignition, fire, in the area where flammable material is placed or handled. Hot work includes cutting, welding, brazing, soldering, and any process involving the application of a naked flame. Almost 6% of the industrial fire has occurred during hot work activity. Therefore, specific safety precautions are required during hot work activities. Hazards of hot work. Fire hazard. 1. Spark or spatter. Generation of spatters or spark during welding, cutting, grinding or any other activities. 2. Molten metals, slag, or swarf. Molten metal and slag which is generated from cutting or welding activities have a very high temperature. It can easily burn any material within a fraction of time. 3. Heat conduction on the metals. Metals like pipes or channels got heat up easily during hot work, and by conduction heat may get travel from one end to another end. And in presence of flammable atmosphere, it caught fire. 4. Explosive environment. Vapor or gases of flammable material in the air can easily ignite during hot work, so before starting any hot work, removing such gases required. Health hazard. During welding or cutting activities, fumes are generated which is hazardous for the respiratory of the welder. Not only welding fumes but also fumes generated from residue deposits on a cutting, welding surface. Electrical hazard. Welding machines, grinding machines and all other equipment used for hot work are powered by electricity which has a risk of electrocution. Radiation. Welding generates UV lights which affect eyes if seen by naked eyes. Burn hazard. Molten metals or any hot surface burns the body parts if touched during hot work. Common safety precautions for hot work. Hot work permit required for any hot work activity. The surrounding area must be free from flammable and combustible materials. Hot work shall not be carried out in or adjacent to any hazardous area unless a gas test has been carried out using an authorized gas tester. Atmosphere testing shall be required whenever the hot work is performed within a radius of 15 meters to storage tanks, vessels, containers, pipelines, fuel cylinders, etc. containing, or had contained, flammable material. Gas testing shall be carried out in the interval of 2 hours where the risk of fire and explosion is more. All equipment must be free from defects. Inspect all equipment before use. Always keep an emergency plan ready to mitigate emergencies. Keep fire extinguishers, hosepipe, sand bucket, water bucket or fire tender ready according to the severity of work for combat against the emergency. Always check wind directions for working in open areas. Everyone must be alerted for fire risk. Use welding booth for welding. Appropriate fire blanket required to stop spatters to spread. Hot work must be carried out by an authorized person like welder or fitter who is trained for hot work. Always avoid hot work on height, do it on the ground. Barricade the area to restrict the entry of personnel to avoid falling off a spark. Hot work must be carried out in presence of a fire watcher. After completion of hot work, the area must be monitored for at least 30 minutes to eliminate the risk of the late fire. Use appropriate ventilation for hot work in confined space. Avoid hot work whenever possible by using a hierarchy of controls to avoid fire and explosion. Thank you for watching.